So, even though I don't do politics, really, I watched the debate. And I know what I saw, and I know what I heard. But every single news channel was trying to tell a different story to what was said. And they're already trying to say, oh, but Biden was this. And yeah, his voice was a little raspy because he's had a cold for the last week. Okay, so he has a cold. That's not going to keep him from thinking clearly or speaking clearly. Trump won this debate. I'm sorry, he won this debate because he spoke he spoke the truth. And you know, they used to call him a liar before, and then everything he said came to fruition, and he was like, it's just like I said it would be. He even said in the last debate that if Biden got in office, he would turn this country into a third world country. Look around, people. When Trump was in office, I paid less in taxes. I actually had more money on my checks and less in taxes. He did that. We were paying $1 something a gallon for gas. Jobs were created. And yeah, we may have had fracking going on from them drilling in our own country, but my God, the amount of resources, natural resources that we have available, there's no reason why we should be paying these people in the Middle East for oil. We've got enough here in our country to last us probably until God returns, right? And it's so many jobs were created. Unemployment rate was at its all-time low. The stock market rates were just breaking records almost daily, or quite often anyway. And we all know how good the economy was. You know, if I went and spent $200 at the grocery store, I needed a second freezer for a lot of the food because, we'd get so much food. Now, I can spend $200 at the grocery store and carry out 4 bags of food, literally. And not to mention the gas prices. Oh yeah, they've come down a little bit. Well, it's kind of like, you get those good RX coupons in the mail that you can use to get a discount on your drug prescription fills, right? It's like, if you don't have insurance, this will, discount it. Well, what Walgreens explained to me was you're better off not using that and just paying cash if you don't have insurance, because what they do is the pharmaceutical company or the company that's offering this discount will charge the highest rate they can legally for that prescription, higher than what you would pay if it was cash. And then they put that discount on it, and it brings it down. Yeah, you get that discount, but you still end up paying more for that prescription than you would have if you'd have just paid cash. And see, that's what Biden did. Yeah, he had the gas prices over $4 in Oklahoma. It was even worse in other states. And then he does whatever he did to bring the prices down. Look, we brought it down $1 a gallon. Well, yeah, you brought it down from some ridiculous amount, but it was like $1 something a gallon, back then. But yeah, every single news channel that covered this debate, they're already lying about what Biden said and about Trump, and I just can't. That's why I don't do politics, because all it does is make me angry. I'm sorry, but you're scratchy. Would y'all like to meet Mr. Simba? Look at his little mouth area. Doesn't he look like a little lion cub? He looked like it, especially when he was a baby. This is Simba. Do you see yourself, Simba? Say, hi, world. Say, I'm a cutie bug. But James already said I'm not going anywhere. Nope, you're going to be stuck here with the rest of the cats. All right, anyway. I would say, y'all seen the cats. I posted enough pictures. But don't mind the mess. My room is a disaster area anytime I have kittens. This is TJ. TJ, say hi, world. Hi, world. Okay, so this is not lighting very well. TJ. There we go. Oh, okay, and this is Snowflake. He's trying to end the video. And this is Miss Lamb Chop. Oh, you see my face. Gross. Okay, where are you at, Lamb Chop? Okay, let me just pick you up. Let me just do it this way. There's Lamb Chop. Oh, ta-da! Okay, there's Lamb Chop. Those are all Bella's babies, and here's the mommy. You can see why her babies are so beautiful. There's Miss Bella. Say hi to yourself, Bella. Can you see yourself in there? Can you see yourself? You have eye boogers. Okay, let me see if I can get you in here. Where's your face? Dang it. There's her face. There's Miss Bella. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Who's hissing at who? Anyways, so I just wanted to say about this stupid debate. Ugh, I hate politics. But you know what? God raises up kings and he takes down kings. And who's going to be our next president is whoever God determines he wants to put in office. And I don't foresee the U.S. ever being as good as it was when Trump was in office before, because I know where we're at in the end times, and I know what's going on around the world. And as much as I would love to believe that if Trump gets elected, that we're going to go back to like it was pre-COVID, I think that, you know, some people were in office just for a purpose, like the one that signed the Balfour Declaration for Israel to become a nation, a state, or whatever, right? I think that's why God put him in office, was for that particular reason. I think Trump was in office to have the economy and the country in such a good standing that when this COVID hit, that was purposely done, and we know it was, we know it came from a lab, we know all the truth now, they can't lie about it anymore. But when COVID hit, because the economy was doing so great, that's how the U.S. survived it. And in fact, the stock market rates were actually higher than before. You know, like they were higher post-COVID than they were before COVID hit. So, you know, he did a lot of good things. I don't like the man personally, Trump, because he's arrogant. I don't like people like that, you know, everything they do is the best ever. No one's ever done it better than I did it. You know, he says that a lot. But, you know, that's neither here nor there. You know, people probably don't like my sense of humor, you know, because yeah, I've got it, you know, I have to watch myself because, you know, as a believer, I can't talk like I used to. But boy, I could tell you some good jokes, you know, from bartending. But I don't, you know, but some people may not like that about me. They may not like my sense of humor because I'm a smart aleck, you know, and I just can't help myself. But I don't do it to insult people, and people know that I'm just playing. But, you know, that doesn't mean that I'm a bad person or that I do bad things. It's just a personality trait that some people may not like. And, you know, that's just how Trump is. But I also know he's a good guy. And I know that under the radar, without anyone knowing, before he ever ran for president, all these years, he has built programs and in the, you know, the ghetto communities, basically, in the inner communities. He's built like these programs and these places for the young kids to go to be involved in activities so that will keep them from getting into drugs or gangs or crime. You know, it would give them a positive place to go. And he's always been about that. He's always been a very, very generous person. And anyone that talks to Trump, there's this one guy, he's like a billionaire. And he was a never Trumper or Trumper never or whatever they're called. That, you know, he was like never going to vote for Trump. But after he actually sat down and had a talk with Donald Trump and, you know, had a conversation with him, he realized that Donald Trump is a very polite and a very kind man. And I'm not trying to sell him so you'll vote for him. We need to vote for whoever God puts on our heart. But, you know, people that know him personally know that he's actually a very nice man. Now, if I had people coming at me like he does, I probably wouldn't be so sweet either. You know, he's actually being a lot nicer about it than I would be, you know, because I have that German and Irish temper, and sometimes the other Debbie, the other side of Debbie, rears her ugly head. Because I don't like it when someone lies to me. I don't like it when people are hypocrites, or when they make me look foolish, when everything I'm saying is the truth. And then they turn it around and try to make it look like I'm the one that was wrong. And nah, I don't need that. And I don't just either. I hate that. Anyways, I'm just rambling. I need to do my daily breads, but I got some more magnesium today, so hopefully I will have more energy. I've had company like most of the day today, so I'm spent. But that debate, I'm glad Trump didn't do like he did in 2020. He kept a cool head, and he stayed on, you know, he did a lot better. In fact, it was Joe that was getting ticked off, you know. Yeah. But anyways, enough of the politics for me. Just hope we make it to November and can actually go into a voting booth to vote and not mail it in. If we're even still here. If the country's even still here. Because we've got so many countries that are wanting to take us out. It's not even funny. Because they know they can, because we have a weak government, and our military has just been all but destroyed. Because they're too busy putting on their makeup and putting on their heels, a lot of them. It's not the military I knew when I was in. And there were people that were homosexual when I was in. So that has nothing to do with it. But it's weak. That's what I'm referring to. The military is weak right now, and we need to get it back like it was a few years ago. We need to get it back like it was when I was in during Desert Storm, because I guarantee if we get our military back where it was, the Putin and Kim Jong-un, or whatever the heck his name is, in North Korea, they wouldn't be pulling some of the stuff they're doing if Trump was in office, I guarantee. Because they know Trump is an honest man, and he's a strong man. And, if he said, like he told Rocket Man told him he had a red button on his desk, and Trump said, yeah, so do I, but mine's bigger. I love that. Anyways, I'm going to get off here. That's all my political bleh, because I don't listen to it. I don't follow it. I don't like to. I just know that if we don't get the demon rats out of office, this country is doomed. We will be truly the Babylon that we read about in the Bible. I just watched a movie called The Day After. Man, that was sad, because there was like no warning. It was like the military knew that because they just fired off all their rockets, that either if they shot first, they'll be shot back at, and those will hit in so they knew they had like 30 minutes to live, pretty much. And if they fired first, and then we just now fired back, then there was no telling when their rockets were going to hit. And we're talking about nuke bombs, and we've got North Korea, we've got China, we've got Russia, we've got Iran, who chants death to America. We have all these countries that has never liked us anyway, but would love the chance to remove U.S. from the map. And to be honest, the United States is not spoken of in the Bible in the end times. So, because it's going to be a one world government, right? So there won't be a U.S. It'll be one government, but it'll be run by the Antichrist, and we won't be here. And no, it's not the Great Escape plan. It's God is not going to pour out his wrath on his church, who's been faithful in serving him and following him and in believing in his son. In fact, I'll say this and then I'll get off. This was a story that Pastor Glenda had shared one year, and it was such a good story. I'm trying to pull my shirt up. I'm sorry, guys. There's this man and his son. They would travel all over the world collecting art, different paintings, and expensive pieces and very collectible type pieces, that everyone would want. But they were collecting all these art pieces and stuff. And then his son got drafted into the war. So his son had to go off to the war and left the dad alone, because the dad was a widow, I'm assuming. And there's that never spoke of the wife, so it was just the father. The father was left alone while the son went off to war. And then one day he got the letter, or got the notification that his son had been killed in the war, that his son was dead. And of course the dad was devastated, because, he didn't know how he was going to, how am I going to, function? My son is dead. And so one day, it was a Christmas day. It was like the first Christmas after he found out his son was killed in action. And he was thinking, how am I going to be able to do Christmas without my son here? Because we always had a traditional thing that we did on Christmas. And about that time, he heard a knock on his door, and he went and opened it, and there was a soldier standing there. And he said, "Sir, you don't know me, but I knew your son. And I just wanted to tell you first, I am so sorry for your loss. I knew your son very well, and he was a wonderful, kind, beautiful person." And he said, and even though and I know y'all collect art, he says, "I'm not a great artist. I don't claim to be, but I painted a picture a portrait of your son while he was still alive. And I tried to capture the very essence of who he is and who he was and everything that was so great about him in this picture. And so, of course, he's already inside. And so he takes the cover off the portrait, and the father sees this picture of his son. And, of course, he immediately starts bawling because it looks just like a son, you know. And he says, you did it. You did capture the very essence of the love that my son has for everyone, and the kindness and the goodness that was in his heart. And the man said, I'm going to hang that over my fireplace, so every Christmas I can still have the tradition with my son. And he thanked the soldier, and the soldier, you know, went on his way. Well, meanwhile, the dad continued going around the world, you know, and collecting different art and stuff. And then one day the father died, you know, he was an old man. And so they were going to have an auction of all the artwork that he and his son had collected. And he had left specific instructions for the auction. So all these people are there because they know this father and son had some great art, like Rembrandt and whoever, you know. They had some really expensive, rare, collectible pieces that they wanted to get their hands on. So they were getting ready to start the auction. And he says, okay, we're going to start with this. This is the first piece that we're going to auction off. And they uncover it, and it's the portrait of the father's son. And the people were like, is this a joke? What is this? This is crap. What is this? And they said, this is a portrait of the man's son. And they said, we didn't come here for that. We came here for the good pieces, the good artwork, the expensive stuff, the stuff that everybody wants. You know, that's what we came. We don't want this. This isn't even a very good portrait. I mean, whoever painted this was obviously an amateur. We don't want the son. You know, we want all the other good stuff. And a man in the very back of the room held his hand up, and he says, all I have is $100 to my name, but I would very much love to have that portrait of the father's son, but all I have is $100. And the auctioneer says, okay, well, we've got $100 for this painting. Guys here, you know, going once, going twice. Okay, sold to the man in the back for $100. And he looked at the rest of the people and he says, okay, I want to thank everyone for coming out today. The auction is now closed. I hope you have a great day. And they're like, wait, what? What do you mean it's closed? We haven't even bid on the actual art, the real art. What are you talking about? And he says, well, the father had specific instructions. Whoever accepts his son gets it all.